So for this Sandbox episode, we are excited to talk to one of our favorite friends in the community. This is a guy who we've been hanging out with for, the last 3 years.
Years, yeah.
Can it be that
crazy
long?
to say.
Gosh, you make us feel old, Lenny. He is an illustrator, a designer, active community member as far as our Slack community, as far as AIGA, a big proponent of art community. He is all over the place in terms of the, he goes literally coast to coast speaking at different creative conferences. We are talking to head and owner and operator of Hey Monkey Designs, none other than our good friend, Lenny Terenzi. Welcome, Lenny, to the show.
Hey!
Yay! My hair has gotten so much grayer since I met you guys. I don't know if it's directly related or not, but
no, it is for sure.
I was gonna say we're gonna hit our 7-year itch pretty soon, so just get ready for that.
So
I always have an itch, so it's okay.
I've had an itch for the last 7 years. So Lenny, for those of us who, not us, those of them, because I know who you
those
are.
of you.
Those of you. Those who don't know you and maybe haven't been listening as long as we've been, haven't listened to the show as long as we've talked to you, and now you get to be a part of our new format. Tell everybody who you are and what it is that you do. Give us the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, so Lenny Terenzi, 44 years old.
44 years young.
Yeah,
44 years.
Better.
44 years young and virile.
There it is.
Designer, illustrator, screen printer, community builder, speaker, all sorts of stuff. Based, I was going to say, right here in beautiful, well, right now I'm in Cary, North Carolina, but I work in beautiful Durham, North Carolina.
Nice.
One of the few moments that I'm actually home over the next few months.
Well, so you said speaker, but speaker is a pretty new thing to your list, right? It seems like you went from 0 to 100 just over the last, last year, or even like the last 8 months or so.
In speed, not age.
Absolutely. This has been by far my busiest year, and it didn't. Late last year, I was kind of looking ahead going, God, I want to do some more speaking this year. And then all of a sudden it was just insane. I mean, I've done gigs here and there since my first one at Creative South in 2015. But yeah, since then it's been nuts. I mean, I've got between August and November, I think I've got 6 or 7 speaking gigs, which is all over the place, which is super exciting. And I know we'll talk at least about one of them in depth, hopefully a little bit today. So
Sure.
Yeah, at least one of them. So since last we spoke, you have, like we said, you've been doing the speaking circuit and you've been kind of all over the place. What's been your main focus as you've been as you've been doing this, as people have been kind of seeing the value you bring not only to building the community but to bringing knowledge and bringing inspiration through talks? What's been your main focus that you try to bring when you go to one of these conferences? I
don't try to change much between conferences, but I always like to at least see what the, what is the theme or the overall vibe of the conference, and at least sort of tailor the way I'll tell the story to
Sure.
that, to that vibe. Like, when I emceed Weapons of Mass Creation, it's definitely gritty, urban, little punk rock. So, maybe a little more F-bombs, kind of, hype up the audience versus like my workshop I just did at Circles, kept it a little more subdued. But overall, I've really been sort of on this tilt of, and this is a talk I'll be doing at Reimagine coming up, called Unlimited Revisions. And it's sort of a take on that hot button topic of, client work, but it's not what it's about. It's about giving yourself unlimited revisions to just kind of explore the space of being a creative and just trying things and throwing it against the wall and seeing what sticks. And if it doesn't stick, that's fine. But if 10 things stick, maybe just do all 10 just a little bit, just to kind of like play and, explore sort of your best creative life.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the theme that I'm doing right now.
Have you seen that that's a trend that, obviously it's a trend you're a proponent of, but have you seen other people attacking this trend and being successful in it? Or is this something that you're trying to experiment with? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. A little bit of both, I think. So part of the talk that I give with Unlimited Revisions is talking about doing it, but at the same time abandoning that mindset that you have to hustle and you have to work like 17 hours a day to do it, because screw that. I'm 44 and I need naps and I get tired and I like to play my Xbox and I want to watch Netflix and I want to like enjoy life. That's part of the reason that I think we, those of us who work for ourselves actually do it. Yeah. So that's kind of that's the tilt I take with it, is like explore and do it all. But good Lord, just do it 8 hours a day. That's cool. And you can go home and sleep and relax and then don't do it for the weekend.
Right.
Some progress is better than no progress, but it doesn't mean all you have to do is progress.
So I am curious, that balance. I mean, you do own your own studio. Like you have a place that you have to be, and you have your clients. You said you have what did you just say? Was it 6 speaking engagements in the next a short amount of time? So what does that look like? What does that look like to balance those speaking engagements, delivering well for clients, delivering well for personal projects, and still keeping a separation, like trying to cut off a bit of time for just yourself?
Lately it's failed miserably. I mean, it's been successful in terms of like, making sure that making sure my clients are taken care of, making sure the work's getting done, making sure that the engagements I go to, that I'm definitely delivering what they're bringing me out there for. These people are spending money to get me out there and put me up. And, so I've definitely had less downtime over the last couple months than I have in the past. And it's probably showing me that next year, maybe I'll space them out a little bit more. It just so happened that the fall was like, boom, and a lot of stuff hit. And I just enjoy doing it so much and being around people so much that I have a hard time saying no. And I probably should for my sanity. But man, I just like to hang out.
Sure.
Well, it seems like you get energized from doing that, right?
I absolutely do. And, I addressed this in my circles workshop. Like I'm currently, and I even put an Instagram post up about it recently, I am smack dab in the middle of full blown creative block. Like I can't put pen to paper to draw right now. Like I've just got I'm still inspired. Like when I see work and when I see people and it's like, oh man, that's awesome. And I want to do it. So I'm not I don't think I'm burnt out, but if something, the wires are, if you could see me.
Okay, they're crossed.
They will be able to see me, won't they? They'll be on YouTube.
Maybe.
If the face is, hold on, let me.
We'll see.
There we go. I'm going to get my YouTube hair. There we
It
go.
depends on if we do our jobs or not. So I don't know that I would count on it. It's certainly a possibility.
Maybe. Well, in case it's not, I was doing my hands in a not wires meeting motion. But just lately, the wires haven't been meeting. So I've definitely been sort of leaning on talking to people and hanging out with people and talking to people about it as a way to hopefully kick me out of it. And admittedly, circles, I think, started kind of I kind of feel the gears turning and the engine starting to fire up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to taking that into a vacation I'm actually going on next week, and then into Design Week Tallahassee, first week of October, and then straight out to the left coast when we hit Reimagine.
Nice.
The left coast.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let me ask, because we kind of went into the balance between speaker life and studio life. How do you balance, even you get the balance of the speaker and studio life, but you are a proponent of the 8-hour workday is ideal, right? And how do you do that? Running your own business and being how have you built in, as far as timeline and stuff, a way to protect yourself in that, because that's so important to you? What do you do? Yeah. Because most people that run their own studio, it's 8 hours is ideal, but we do 12 hours. That's just normal. But you're saying that doesn't have to be normal.
Right. Admittedly, when I come home, I'm definitely on the computer and still working. So, I might be 8 hours in the studio, sometimes less, but I'm definitely doing a bit more work when I come home again than I'd like to. But at least I'm kind of home and relaxing, and I'm in the presence of my wife, and we can converse and have dinner and do things. So I'll tend to sort of jump in and out once I'm back home. So I can't say that I've nailed the balance yet.
Sure.
But I'm kind of also okay with that. There's a really great talk that a friend of mine, Gage Mitchell, he's out of Seattle, gives. And he kind of dispels the work-life balance myth for the creative, because we have, as creatives, have a hard time work-life balance means you work and then you balance it with life, where work doesn't come into play anymore. I don't think we are capable of doing that as creatives. We'll see something as simple as a sign or a cool packaging or a new game or something, and it cracks that same thing in our head that, when we design something or make something or code something or whatever. So we don't really get that sort of that point where we get to stop working. Our brain,
inspiration doesn't take a break.
Right.
It doesn't. So it's sort of embracing when that happens. And so, like, if I come home and I have an idea for something, I'm just going to work on it. But it's because I want to. I don't feel like I have to, and it doesn't feel like work. So it's sort of like balance by really dispelling the myth of actual balance. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's very easy to want to rigidly prescribe this, like, it has to be wedged within 8 hours, and after that you need to be doing something else. But again, there are a lot of things that I do in my workday that are energizing for me, that I would rather be doing. I don't want to have to go home and sit on my hands and like do nothing. Like there are times I want to continue. Now, certainly, there are times I have to make room for other things as well. But just this idea that you have to wedge all of your work in this time period, and you're not allowed inspiration or to be energized or relief outside of that, is just that's pretty crazy. So I totally get what you're saying. I'm curious, because you are just a force of a personality, right? Like you've never met someone that isn't a friend. And you immediately, when you meet people, you bring them into your circle. Like there is no Lenny's group and everyone else's group. Like just by being a human on this earth, you're in Lenny's group. And so given that you've met the amount of people that you have, given that you've talked to the amount of people, both from stage, but also one-on-one, what have your takeaways been? Like what are the things that you would say that are like the big takeaways over this past probably year or so that have really enhanced the work that you do every day?
Man, that's a good one. Let me think about it stumper for a second. Well, I could kind of somebody help me. So I had the opportunity presented to me. So it's kind of going to be about me, but I'm going to swing it around to other people's views about me that have helped shape my last year. Thank you. I was presented an opportunity to teach at a college here, Elon University, it's a private university, really well known, got a phenomenal design program backed by a crap ton of money. And I was really excited about the prospect of it. I knew the professor there, and he recommended me, saying this guy would be fantastic. So I got really excited about it, but I didn't even know I wanted to do it until it was presented to me, right? And I never went to college, so I don't have any sort of degrees whatsoever. And that stopped me from being able to teach there. They wouldn't, that was just a rule they had. And I was like, damn, tried to fight for it. I have a ton of industry experience, way more than any master's degree, but it is what it is. And it was really, I actually got hit a little depression for it. I was like, man, I didn't even know I wanted it till I was offered it, and then it was taken away.
Sure.
And then I had a friend of mine say, and I was like, God, I just really would love to teach. And she goes, well, you actually teach every single day that you're talking to someone. And that kind of like really not only picked me up, but sort of gave me like a reason for kind of like looking forward to all these speaking things and doing all that stuff. But also, like you said, I haven't met a stranger, or everybody's in my group, like the same thing. It's like, well, I can also learn from everyone else around me. So sort of my theme is, I do a lot of talking, and I'm definitely a type A talking personality, but I'm also really trying hard to listen a little more this year, and as kind of a theme, and sort of like take in other stories and things like that.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So I had the opportunity this a couple weeks ago to hang out with you for an extended period of time. We've chatted, obviously, on the show. We hung out a little bit at Creative South, but at Creative South, I mean, you're a busy man.
And you guys are busy people there too. So
It's hard to hang out. But we really got like kind of our first opportunity to spend like extended periods of time talking and being friends.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I noticed about you. You talk about kind of focusing on listening a little bit more and being more intentional with that. I gathered that. I mean, I picked up on that. You are, so like Patrick said, you're a force, right? I think that was the term that you used, right? And you are a force of a person. You are a ball of energy as a person. But I did also notice that's 100% you. It's not like it's fake at all.
Sure.
Right.
But you do turn that off. And when you turn that off, you are just as genuine, but in a totally intimate kind of way. Like in a way where dialoguing back and forth, like it felt like it was...
Patrick liked that.
I too
YouTube
got to
only.
experience intimate Lenny.
Listen,
Andrew and I have photos, so
we do have photos. But you know what I mean by that? Like it's there's larger than life Lenny. We call it the triple L, the larger than life Lenny.
yes, that's what we call it.
L cubed.
That's just
In the biz.
a pretty understood industry term, larger than life Lenny, the triple L. But then you've got like that one-on-one dialogue, Lenny, which is a little bit more subdued, a little bit more restrained, but just as caring, just as inclusive. And I really appreciated the conversations that we had, even in the car, back and forth to the venues, when it was just you and I dialoguing about real life stuff and struggles and other things. So other than just kind of pointing that out to people, there's a question that's kind of buried deep inside of here. How important is it to you to get to places in your relationships with people where you get to that level of vulnerability with them?
It's extremely important to me, for sure. Especially now more than ever, because I have definitely met a lot of people, and I feel extremely blessed and lucky to call so many people like truly like friends. It's not just like I try not to be like, oh, I know this person. Like I like to know people. But with that, like you said, at like Creative South, we're busy and you never can have the time to see everybody. Sure. So I've really been trying. That's one thing I liked about Circles is it was my first Circles, and I still knew a lot of people there from other stuff, but it was definitely, we were a little smaller, group. So it sort of afforded me that opportunity to sit with you, to sit with Doc, to sit with, some of the people we went like lunch and, dinners with and stuff like that. So it definitely, it's become extremely important just to be able to start having those connections when I can, because I know depending on the time, place, and conference or whatever, that I might be needed or do something or whatever. So I like to have those touch points to be able to, just as a foundation.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think this is a good place to move into Reimagine. Like we mentioned Creative South a couple times and Circles. And I've already said this a couple times on the show. I've got to make it to Circles next year. I've been to Squares. Ish is awesome. The vibe is awesome. Yes. I got to make it to Circles. But one of the next big ones, and it's a big one for us because it's the one that will be out with you, is Reimagine. This is Costa Mesa. We're like just a few weeks away. We are so close. It's your first time on the left coast.
It is.
And so, we already kind of got a bit about your talk, but like, what are you walking into this wanting to take away from this experience?
This is one where I'm like, I have no idea. And that is unusual for me.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and again, I'm going to know a ton of people. I mean, it's you three and we've got Mike and Peter and Bethany. Like it's like, I feel again, so lucky because I'm looking at this like first time there and I'm looking at the lineup going, oh, there's all my buddies, there's all these people that I know, but like, it is going to be different, right? It's the vibe of the place. It's just new. Each conference definitely has its own feel. What is that going to be? I'm going to have to read it quickly so I know how to deliver my talk. It's a talk that I'm going to have given before, but again, I like to cater it to, sort of the, what the crowd is. So I don't have any expectations other than, holy crap, I'm going to be in California and hanging with all my peeps and getting to kind of do something new. And, and I've added on some days. I'm there for like 7-8 days to just kind of enjoy seeing the area, things like that. Yeah. So, Just no expectations.
Sure.
Well,
Cool.
I'll tell
Okay.
you, it's super chill. Just so you know.
Oh yeah, you will. Yeah, I don't know how to describe the actual conference of Reimagine, like not the conference, the actual experience, like the whole experience of being there and being a part of it. But you
Right.
know Noah, and
Oh, yeah.
you know everything is going to be done with a level of excellence and a level of care and community. But then you also know Noah's super chill, and it's just going to be a good time.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
we're gonna hit the town for sure while
In
we're
some
there.
ways,
and do some
it
damage.
will
yeah.
remind like it is smaller. I mean, it's smaller than Circles is as far as the group of people. So you absolutely are going to have all those opportunities to have like the one-on-one time, which is great. So anybody that's listening, and I think there's something like 15 tickets left. Like it's not that many.
Not
Yeah.
many.
But just know that like these great people that Lenny's sitting here getting excited about, we're excited about, you're going to have opportunities for tons of like one-on-one time with these people.
Absolutely.
But also because it's small, there's everybody like hits the ground running. Like when you sit down on day one, it is notebooks open, pencils out, and like everybody is ready to get serious.
Right.
And so it's a unique vibe in that way. It's like very focused.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah,
it
the
is
conference itself is very focused.
Yeah.
The experience outside of it is very chill,
Super chill.
and very community driven.
It's a really good
besides that
balance
helps.
because the
is.
sessions are like kind of like mentally and emotionally like, hey, we're going to bring you to this place and you got to figure out where to go next.
Right.
But then outside of it, it's like, hey, let's decompress, let's hang out, let's get community, and let's have fun because we're going to go back at it tomorrow and kind of mess up our insides a little bit.
So
that's the
speaking
tacos,
of,
but go ahead.
Yeah, that's the taco truck. So speaking of how conferences go and the vibes, before we head into our final questions in a second, what can we expect from Creative South 2018? Because you're going to be a pretty heavy part of that as well. Tell us what we can expect from that conference.
So it sounds cliche to say, you know, bigger, better, because you always want to say that about your conferences, you know, improvements and all that.
Yep.
But I can really say, you know, this is going to be our 8th year of the conference. Yeah, 8th year. And 8 is a special number to Mike. That's sort of his magic number, his lucky number.
Okay.
Yeah, Magic Mike, right?
Yeah, so while we're gonna Mike Jones, if can't imagine anybody who's listening this doesn't know Mike, but if you don't, Mike Jones, creator of Creative South, speaker at Reimagine. So we're getting, I mean, it's going to be a lot bigger, and I don't mean that in terms of people and everything. Like we're at our limits there.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's still community based and everything, but we're just really like shaking it up this year. We're like, well, you know what? We've done this for X number of years, so let's change it up this year. We've done that for X number of years. We're getting ready to do some detail releasing soon. I don't have permission from the big guy to actually say anything yet, so I'm being ambiguous on purpose. I know we will talk at Reimagine, and you guys will get some dirt on a one-on-one friend basis. But I will say a few things. If you think the bridge party is awesome, just wait.
Wow.
So there's one.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm excited about that.
I'll let you imagine go. And we have gotten, we don't have name on paper, but I've spoken to the person. We've gotten one of the most requested speakers in the history of Creative South to finally commit coming that has never come.
Okay.
And
Wow.
all it took was you just offering me a good steak dinner. And I said
Yeah,
it
that's
wouldn't have been
pretty
that
easy.
hard had you just
Yeah, lead with the steak.
lead with a steak, and that's all you need.
It sounds to me like we're getting a two-bridge party. That's obviously what I'm assuming is that we just rented another bridge across town.
They're building
It's
another
just,
one
it's just
right
a
beside
longer.
it.
It's just a longer bridge.
They're just building
It's all
it
that-
beside.
We just found a bigger bridge. We're great. So
We
that's
decided
awesome.
to just build our own bridge this time.
Yes.
I like it.
That done. Okay, so super exciting. We're going to transition into final questions, where we're each going to ask one more. This is like your third rodeo.
This
you know
is
how
super
this
easy for
works.
you.
But I'll go and kick it off, and I'm going to give you a nice softball.
All right.
That sounds weird.
Hey, I
Okay.
got one from Andrew at Circle, so we're okay.
Oh, the old softball.
A very nice softball.
Okay, you're hanging out in California. You said you're there for 8 days. Maybe give me a couple of those things on your list that you're going to be doing while you're out there.
Gotta try to go to Disney World. Never been. I mean, Disneyland.
I was gonna say it's gonna take you a long time to get there.
Yeah, I know.
You're going the wrong way.
wouldn't go
bro.
to California for that.
I'm going to start walking. Yeah. Love to check out Disneyland. I'm definitely I want to pop down into actual like Los Angeles proper, jump on a train. And, I definitely want to just do some exploring. So that's 2. 3 is just, I can't wait for those moments of just, it's the unknown moments, right? Those are the ones like you can say what you're going to do that you think is going to be the coolest thing. But I promise it's that us at the taco truck that'll probably happen, or something where that one thing is going to happen that's what we're going to talk about, and I don't know what that is. And
Tiny
that's what I'm excited
Tabasco
about.
sauce. That's what last year's was.
Last year was the tiny Tabasco.
I gotta remember it.
Yeah.
We'll tell you
So
about it
that's-
later. We'll tell you about it later. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I want the tiny Tabasco moment. I have no idea what it is, but it sounds phenomenal.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll show you later. Okay, so yeah, there's so much to experience, and we'll, we are now pros. We'll show you the ropes when it comes to California.
That's a scary idea.
But so I'm going to shift gears a little bit for my final question. We talked a little bit about it at Circles. You're heavily involved in AIGA. In your chapter are you in the Raleigh chapter? Is that what you're?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Raleigh Durham Chapel Hill.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of the people who are at Circles are heavily involved in AIGA. So tell us a little bit about what that organization does. I know when you came on last time, we talked extensively about some of the, I think, or maybe it was just in the Slack channel. I don't know. We talk so
I think it
frequently.
was our hot seat at Creative Center.
that's what it
yeah,
was.
you're right.
That's what it was.
Yep.
So in the hot seat, talk to us a little bit about your involvement in AIGA and your proponent of it, and then what you would have people do as maybe an action item out of that.
Sure. So I'm the vice president of the Raleigh chapter. I'm in my second board term, which means I'm going to wrap up my 4 years on the board come this summer 2018.
Awesome.
But I was 2 years before that in a volunteer and member status. So I've been almost 6 years on our board. For me, I only speak from a personal experience of that. It was that perfect storm of I walked into the right chapter at the right time in my life and met the right people. And I realized that might not happen for everybody in the country. Some people might walk into an AIGA meeting and either feel awkward or feel like it's not for them, or that they're not represented. So the action item for those people would be to, make yourself represented.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody what AIGA means?
So what AIGA initially stood for was the American Institute for Graphic Arts. We're so much more than graphic arts now. We have writers and video and everything in there. It's really just a name and name only now, because it's an organization that's been around for over 104 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now the name is AIGA, and our tagline is the Professional Association for Design. So it's about design as just a culture and not graphic designer anymore.
Gotcha. Okay.
So for people who, maybe won't have that same experience that I do, just walk in, open yourself up to the experiences, to the people. If you see something, if you're near a chapter that perhaps isn't active or isn't doing what you think should be done, don't go home or go online and about how they're not doing anything. Jump in and change it, because I can tell you, I've met people from every single board at our leadership retreats, and every single one of them are unbelievably passionate about making a creative community, but we're volunteers. We have day jobs, and we own businesses, and we have kids, and we have life stories, some stories that are crazier than others. And so we're volunteers and we need help. So if you can come in and offer that help, or just be that voice of honesty and stuff like that, that is an action item that anyone can do.
That's
Sweet.
great.
All right. So my final question, I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to bring it to the thing that we share. We're both gamers. What game are you playing right now?
Right now, Destiny 2.
Nice. What class do you play?
Not nearly as much as my wife, by the way, who has her own clan.
Nice.
Like 40 people. We've made T-shirts for the clan. They've held Olympics. They're
that's
already all into
cow.
it.
That's real deal. That's next
Is she
level.
the one yelling at me on the other end? Like, who's killing me and yelling at me? Is that her?
That's probably yeah. She's the heat.
And Patrick doesn't even play Destiny 2. He's just in general. Right? Who's yelling at him? It's probably your wife.
Always going to be. Titan and Warlock. I have both of those set up, but mostly Warlock.
Nice.
Taylor's
I haven't gotten into it nearly as much as my wife because I've been busy. So I've just started into the story mode. She was so happy for me to go to Circles because that was the same week
I just
Destiny
have
came
Destiny
out.
time now.
That's all she did the entire time was be able to play that. So she was super happy that I was gone.
That's awesome.
I can attest to that. Every time that he would call home, she'd be like, "I don't have time right now," and she'd hang up on him. And then I'd have to console him before bedtime.
Okay. It's okay. Big LLL. You're still loved.
Triple L.
Triple L.
Hugs on the photo bus out at the vineyard.
Nice.
Oh,
The old
photo
softball.
bus. Oh, we'll talk about that off air. All right, so tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow what you're doing, they can support all of the cool things that you're doing.
Yeah, you can find me at heymonkeydesign.com. You can find me on all the socials, primarily Instagram, Twitter, at heymonkeydesign. And if you're ever anywhere near Durham, North Carolina, hit me up, and the door's open.
That's right.
I used to, so you said that ever since we started talking, and
Right.
before I was like, cool, like that's a really cool concept. I think that that's probably true and genuine. I now know 100% that is 100% genuine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Door, you probably don't even have a front door. I imagine your door is just like one of those door beads, and you just walk in. It's just
Never needed one.
yeah.
If my office wasn't in downtown Durham, which is currently going through somewhat of a renaissance, I would put beads up. But we got some questionables that
Sure.
that I'd be a little scared walking in.
You got to
Questionables.
protect the equipment. I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
And
why
the
you wear a
screen printing
cup.
equipment too.
You know what's up. You and I, we're
Yes.
on the same page, my friend. All right, well, before we head out of here, would you do us a favor and draw some tokens?
Always.
Awesome. So that's it for the interview portion. Up next, we're going to draw some tokens. Every week we draw tokens to find out exactly the categories we're going to have the next week, and then we pick our topics based on those categories. Here are the tokens. Face out. You got all three of them. I'm going to put them face down. Put them on the table. I'm going to shuffle them up and give me a number between 1 and 3. You'll be picking for Luke.
Let's head in the middle and go number 2.
Toys and games, my friend.
Yeah. You did it.
Okay, listen.
got your
Hold
back,
on.
Luke.
Thank you.
I do not want art and design, Lenny. I just don't want art and design. Before this started,
You
I was
can't
thinking,
say it. You jinxed it.
do not want art and design.
You don't bring that into existence. You don't
Well,
give
it's here now.
negativity a voice.
Lenny.
It was not here. It's here.
I need a number
50-50, my friend.
1 or 2,
50-50.
and this will be for Patrick.
I already went number 2, so let's follow that up with a good number 1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You're showing it to the wrong camera. Oh, no, you showed it to the right one.
I showed it to the right camera, but yeah, you guys, art and design.
Man.
Patrick, I can't help but think you have
I
no one
tried
to
to
blame but
warn you.
yourself for that one,
I tried
buddy.
to tell you.
Thanks.
Maybe Lenny. Maybe.
I feel like I directly have someone to blame. I don't know.
That means I have toys. Oh, sorry, we didn't say that. You have art and design.
Yeah.
For
Thanks.
our audio only people, that's art and design. I got TV and film. Congratulations, you did it, Lenny. As always, thanks for being a friend. I instantly started thinking of Golden Girls. We don't get to use outro music anymore.
No.
No, because
Dang it.
we really would have to pay royalties.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, but just I think I could probably sing it, right? That doesn't count.
Well,
Maybe we can do a little live Golden Girls at Reimagine or something.
Oh, there you
Ooh,
go.
I like that. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel. Subscribe now so you don't miss us doing Golden Girls as a rendition with live at Reimagine. You can find show notes and links to all the stuff we talked about at mof1podcast.com, or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see them right below us in the description. Drop a comment in there, like this post, share the video, be friends. That's what friendly people do on YouTube. Be a friendly person on YouTube. And on iTunes, nope, you can't like things on iTunes. What do you do on iTunes, Patrick?
You kind of can if you leave 5 stars. I would say that is equivalent
That's
to
true.
a like. So you can leave a rating. You can leave a review. We love reviews. That helps us know what we're doing well, not doing well, what you'd like to see. I mean, we love getting feedback. So tell us what you think. Leave a rating. Hopefully it's a good one. But if not, that's fine. Whatever review you leave, we are going to read on one of our Tuesday episodes. And I do want to say one caveat. If you're outside of the country, ping us. Let us know that you left the review.
Yeah.
Because, Apple
have
does
to
this
The
weird
way
actively
it's set up,
search
we
those.
can't see it. We have to search for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just ping us if you're outside the country. But otherwise, we'll read that on the air.
It doesn't mean we don't love you. We just have to
That's right.
actively
Yeah, I don't want to
find
forget
you.
about somebody. But yeah, it takes you very little time, does us a lot of good. We super, super appreciate it. And that's going to go for all of our channels. Just talk to us. It's our
Yeah,
favorite.
just we're here. We're here to listen. That's what our ears are for. And while you're at it, you can go ahead and join our Slack community. Go to m1podcast.com/Slack to join the conversation in there each and every day. Lenny is an active contributor to that conversation. He pops in there. You can ask him any question you want. He'll have an answer for it. It might not be right, but he will answer it.
Yeah, I can
right,
guarantee
Lenny?
it will not. Yes, absolutely.
That community is waiting for you if you're not a part of it. If you want to contribute to the show financially, go to patreon.com/M1podcast to throw a couple bucks into the bucket. It's super helpful. We're only doing video because of our patrons.
Yep.
Thank you. And if you give $5 a month, that's the blooper level, and you get some extra stuff. And it's a good time. Social media, M of One Podcast everywhere. You know the drill. Just talk to us, like Patrick said. But I think for now we're gonna get out of this episode, right?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Hey, I'm Lenny.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butts.
Oh man, you guys
I
got the soundtrack budget
I
jacked up too.
assume something like that is gonna happen.
Yeah, he gets royalties every time he does that.
He just pays himself.
All right.
He goes, yeah.
It's costing us a lot, but he loves it.
I love it. All right.